Hello, and we got to talk about several things, but let's start with the new war in Israel. Yes, that might actually affect crypto because all wars affect crypto. It messes with the whole market cycle. It might actually pull us into a deeper recession. Right now, that does not seem to be the case, but several people that are anti-Ukraine seem to be gung-ho about supporting Israel. I support both of them, but the thing is, that could definitely make gas prices go up. I don't know how many of the OPEC nations actually are against Israel. I know Iran is, but I don't think Saudi Arabia is really that much anti-Israel. I'm sure the sentiment of their people might be, but the government itself, I don't think so. And also I think a lot of those nations around there are actually pretty hostile towards Iran. So I'm not really sure how that dynamic actually works. But regardless, wars also increase the demand for gas. And gas is already pretty damn high price right now. So unless Biden does a 180 and opens up those gas pipelines, we might see gas go even higher with the Hamas versus Israel type of war we have right now. So that doesn't actually look too good for the market. Bitcoin does not seem to be affected until I think the shocks come through. I don't think Bitcoin's going to be affected all that much. At 28,100, we're actually slightly up today. So in the last day or two since that news came through, it does not seem to affect the crypto market very much. And the thing is, I think the shocks of this war stuff is already kind of over. So until those supply chain things actually hit, I don't think we'll see an impact on the market. But it definitely could impede economic recovery, which could push the bull run back. Maybe a couple of months, maybe a year. Who really knows? I don't think it's actually going to do that. But there is a chance, that we just overload. The economy kind of slows down a lot. And, we don't really recover until several months after the halving next year. I'd still think the ETF and the hopes of the ETF will actually keep us up, especially if it gets approved on October 13th. But there honestly is a lot of stuff going on out there. And the supply chains definitely, especially for energy, could be disrupted this winter with not one, but two wars. And it's just not if the U.S. is helping or not. It's the global supply chain that's fueling both these wars. That's going to eat up a lot of energy, and it could actually make the cost of energy go up. It's not, obviously the Israeli war is not the similar one with Russia and Ukraine, because it's not two professional armies fighting. It's basically an army fighting an insurrectionist group. But the insurrectionist group is very, very dedicated, and they're kind of hard to find at times. So I don't really know how long this conflict is going to last. That area of the world's been at war for more or less forever. It is the Holy Land, and when you're the Holy Land, people tend to fight over you. But Hamas with Palestine and Israel does tend to be the focal conflict in the last couple of years, and it looks like it just resparked again. My guess is going to last a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, so it shouldn't affect the entire market. But if it goes on longer, it could actually drag out the bull run until much, much later. So let's actually look at JP Morgan. They're disappointed in Ethereum. Will they ditch Ethereum? Some people are hoping they ditch Ethereum and pick up something else. I highly doubt it. First of all, JP Morgan doesn't actually own Ethereum. They own Corium, which is a private version of Ethereum, which really doesn't have Ethereum's problems. They're complaining that Ethereum isn't very decentralized. That doesn't apply for Corium, because Corium's not really supposed to be decentralized. It is fully centralized. Let me say that again. Corium is 100% fully centralized. So they're going to continue to work with Consensus and Corium. I do think they have plans for Ethereum, and it's just not going as fast as they thought. Vitalik has actually laid down some plans to decentralize Ethereum, but I don't think that'll actually work. If you actually look at the graphs, Lido controls so much of the staking right now, and they are concerned with centralization of the blockchain, which is why they're actually very, very concerned. So the rise of Ethereum staking network since major network upgrades, the merge in Shanghai, has come at the cost of higher centralization. If you actually look at the percentage that each stake pool has, and remember, JP Morgan's not one of these stake pools, so maybe that's why they're complaining. You see Lido at over 30%, Coinbase at almost 10%, Figment, I didn't realize they were a thing, at almost 5%, Binance at 5%, and Kraken at 3%. So these put together control 60% of the market. The top 5 liquid staking providers control over 50% of the staking on Ethereum network. JP Morgan analysts noted in the report added that Lido alone counts for almost 1/3. I think it's slightly over 1/3 actually. The analyst mentioned that the crypto community has seen the decentralized liquid staking platform Lido as a better alternative to centralized staking platforms associated with centralized exchanges like Coinbase or Binance. However, in practice, even decentralized liquid staking platforms involve a high degree of centralization. Obviously, it's controlled by relatively few people. So even if you stake at Lido, it's fairly controlled. So basically, they're saying, like, needless to say, the centralization by any entity or protocol creates risks to the Ethereum network as a concentrated number of liquidity providers or node operators could act as a single point of failure. They like Geth is also like very, very centralized. So this is not a new problem for Ethereum. It's actually a relatively old problem. And JP Morgan's just pointing it out. I doubt they're actually going to ditch Ethereum and go with something else. That would be extremely surprising. And even Vitalik has admitted to node centralization. And I think he's trying to work to fix it, but I'm not really sure how he can work to fix it. I am still sure that Ethereum will actually like rise again, but maybe JP Morgan would actually look towards like other options to diversify away from Ethereum. And it'd be interesting to see what they actually come up with. So that's the news with JP Morgan and Ethereum. I don't think they're going to ditch Ethereum once again. Taiwan is aiming for crypto laws by November. Now, this is a very, very straightforward stance, and I wish the U.S. would take a stance like this. Obviously, Taiwan is a much, much smaller country than the United States, so you can't really compare the two. But they also want to create a draft of a special law about offshore exchanges by the end of 2023. So the thing is, like, they're probably going to clamp down a little bit on offshore exchanges because obviously offshore exchanges are a haven for tax evasion and money laundering. So they're trying to push the first draft by the end of November and maybe get something done by the end of the year. And lawmakers there are more concerned about activity in offshore markets and seek to avoid regulatory arbitrage. So they want some firm guidelines for like this offshore stuff, which obviously to any government would actually be concerning. And these rules might actually blanket the industry. Now, Taiwan as an economy is more important than its size actually suggests. And I think we'll actually be watching this in the days to come. So not only that, but like major cryptocurrency exchanges in Taiwan formed an association and they're going to advance industry interests. So they probably want looser regulations. Now you're saying, well, didn't China ban crypto exchanges? Yeah, but Taiwan isn't China. That's right. I said it. Taiwan is not China. So that does not apply. Crypto exchanges have been allowed in Taiwan. They are not allowed in China. They're not governed under the same government, in case you didn't actually know that. I know a lot of Chinese people will disagree with me on that, but Taiwan is indeed not part of China. So, yes, they're trying to get crypto laws in by November, and I think it is a lot to survey the offshore exchanges, which obviously are a concern for almost any government. The Binance market share has also dropped recently. That's not that much of a surprise. They've been getting kicked out of a lot of jurisdictions. It's actually been distributed towards other exchanges. I think it's mainly like Huobi, OKX, and other international exchanges. I think this is probably one of the reasons that Coinbase and Kraken really, really want to expand internationally so they can actually take up some of that Binance market share. Remember, I think Binance.us was never really that big, but like Binance in Europe and the UK is much bigger. They're coming back to the UK, but it's given other exchanges a chance to take up some of that market share. So as Binance has had a lot of legal troubles, like, opportunists like Huobi, Kraken, Huobi, OKX, and other big international exchanges have actually used the time to actually take up some of the Binance market share, as they should. And I think American exchanges are looking at that and like, we want some of that market share because the US has limited opportunities due to their regulations for us to make money. And if we go offshore, get some of that market share, we'll make a lot more money. So, the thing is, they're definitely going to expand even more. And I think like some of them might eventually decide to leave the US altogether, although I think that's kind of doubtful because the US market is so big. But there's so many restrictions in the US market that it actually makes it hard to operate as a business for many of these exchanges. And of course, Binance is not liking this. I think this is also one of the reasons why CZ finally decided to cut off Russia, because I think he saw the writing on the wall. He's like, yeah, if we go with Russia, keep on going with Russia, this is not going to go well for us because everyone is kicking us out. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that like right after he ditched Russia in the crypto world, like all these like countries like Belgium, UK started welcoming him back in. So I do think like Binance is going to start reclaiming some of the market share, and Coinbase and Kraken better hurry up if they actually want more of that Binance market share. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.